these are our kindergarten curriculum picks for 2025. So I did a video on first grade. A lot of it's going to be really similar. We do a lot of group activities together, group books. But this is what I'm doing for my kindergartner. So this is kind of my little cheat sheet here, and I do also have a planner that I use, but I like to use this so I can just use a dry erase marker and cross off as we're doing for the day. So we do our mornings together, and then each kid has their individual math books and some other little things that they do. And then we do like days of the week, months of the year, seasons, and our state stuff together. And then we kind of do a loop schedule for our other topics. So Mondays are social studies and Curiosity Chronicles history. Tuesday is our coding book and an art project. We take Wednesdays off. Thursdays is geography, and we introduce our new state. So right now we're doing Maine and learning all about Maine and watching videos on Maine and the sites and how, the people and stuff they do there, what it looks like. And then Friday is our anatomy and Dr. Bonified about the bones. Saturday we do 2 social emotional health books and another art project. And then on Sundays we do our science book and our elemental science program. And we don't get to these every day. We more so do that on a loop schedule just because sometimes it can be a lot. And I have us down for 6 days a week of school, but a lot of times I'd say we do school about 4 to 5 days a week. We do take time off for going, like playing outside days, grandma and grandpa days, stuff like that. So I'll cover this up a little bit, but we start off with his like all about me stuff. So he says his first, middle, and last name, his birth date, his mom and dad's name, mom and dad's phone number, and then his home address. And the goal with that is to say it enough and repeat it enough to where we have it memorized. Just kind of a safety thing to know your phone numbers and your addresses and stuff. And we are starting to introduce a second language. We are wanting to learn Italian eventually. It was kind of hard. There's not a lot out there on teaching Italian to homeschool. We do have the TalkBox Mom language program and then the Homeschool Languages program. And we've introduced them a little bit, but I think we're still really young, so we're not doing a ton with that yet. So for right now, we're doing our colors in Italian, and they've been doing this for a couple weeks. So I'll say the color in Italian, and then they'll just race and color it really quick. So they have these pretty down, and I think next we'll probably do like animals, and then foods, and just kind of some more stuff like that before we start introducing the language and like how to speak it fluently. So we do that, and then we do our poetry and art, and we use the Tiger Burning Bright book, and we really like this. It's an animal poem for each day of the year, and I believe today we did bunnies. And so you just go find the date, and sometimes I skip around a little bit if it's, a really short poem or an animal, that we're not super interested in, I guess. But they do like learning about the new animals. So here's like grizzly bear, eagle, and it kind of goes with the seasons too. So like in December, it's a lot of like snow animals, Arctic fox, and I don't know what these ones are, but pandas, wildcat, elk. So we do really like it. So they listen to the poem and they take their paper and draw out what the poem is about with the animals. And then I do a 3-hole punch and put it in their art book. And so it's really nice to see kind of how their drawing is progressing, and they like having their animals in their book too. And then we also do scissor skills, and they've worked through a lot of this already, but it does have like you color and cut this out, and then towards the end of the book it gets a little bit more intricate with its cutting. So cutting and gluing, and anytime they can use glue, they love that. So putting some animals together, so it's kind of like a fun little art project almost, so they like that. And then we do every day question a day journal for kids. And so I'll kind of, so if I do it like by day and I ask one kid, the other kid's answer will be exactly the same. So what I do usually is I'll just kind of open to a random page and ask one kid a question, and then in the other kid's book I'll go to another random page. But we really like this, and it's nice to see it's a lot about what makes you feel excited, who is somebody you talk to when you're worried, what do you like to do with your friends, and what's the last thing you do before you fall asleep at night. So it's easy questions, and my 4-year-old and 7-year-old, they like doing this. So we do that every day. One thing we are going to start doing that we haven't started exactly yet is doing our calendar stuff. So we do calendar stuff in days of the week. We have big poster boards, and we watch some YouTube videos that sing, the days of the week song, months of the year songs. But we're going to start doing this, and it's undated. And so we'll be doing the number, what day we're on, and then probably what the weather's going to be like. Maybe draw a picture of the weather for the day. So we'll be doing that. And for handwriting, we do Logic of English for our reading and phonics, and they have a handwriting component, but we don't like that. The letters end up looking weird how they teach it. For an A, they do a roll and then a slanty line, and that's just not how we've learned in our other stuff. And so it looks funny to them, and they're like, are we doing this right? What are we writing? So we do handwriting without tears. And we do like this. This is the third one. They have the purple and green one before this. This is the kindergarten one. And we like it. It introduces how to write the letters, and then you're only writing it a couple times, so it's not a whole bunch of work. But we really like this one. And I have flip-throughs of a lot of these different books. So if you want something more in-depth, I have a lot of them. So we supplement kind of with Channy's handwriting. I think they have a website, but we just got these on Amazon. And we kind of go back and forth between doing the numbers and the letters. So one day we'll have all the dotted lines for the number 4 that they follow. And then the next day they're doing the number 4s by themselves. And we don't usually finish all of them because that is a lot. So we usually only do 2 lines of it. And the letters are kind of laid out the same way. You're learning how to write the letter. And I like the green box too. It's really helpful because keep the little C in the green box and the big one goes above it. So we like those. We like to do a lot of handwriting practice. So I think that's a lot of the stuff that we do together. Also do, where's my other book? Here. Spelling UC. So they are, with their Logic of English, reading 3 and 4 letter words. This is a little bit more help with our handwriting and our actual spelling. You do really need the instructor book because there's also stickers in here that they can put on each page once they complete it. But we start off with the words written here, and then you read them and then spell them yourself down here. But then as you get a little bit later in the book, the boxes are completely blank, and the words that you, the instructor, are telling them are all in this book. So it'll have the lesson number and then all the spelling words for that day. So we like it, and they feel really accomplished when they can spell a word and they're like, yeah, I did it. So we like that. We are supplementing with Explode the Code. My kindergartner did start with the Get Ready for the Code, A, B, and C. He only did it book A because it introduces the letters really slowly and he kind of already had them down. So I am starting him on book 1. We're going slowly through it because we are reading 3-letter words, but this is just a little bit more in depth with it. So it's a bat. So we circle B, A, T, and then we write it. And so it does take a little bit to get through. And I mean this kind of thing too, like he doesn't quite know the word the yet because we're phonetically spelling words like hat and cat and bus, stuff like that. So these I end up walking through with him a little bit more. So we're just taking this one really slow, but we do like it. I have flip throughs of that as well. Our math supplement is Addition Facts That Stick, and we do really like this book. It's by Kate Snow, who also makes Math with Confidence, but we like this one because it teaches the simple addition in ways that you're actually learning it and not just memorizing it. She teaches it with the 10 frame, and so they learn like this to this dark black line is a chunk of 5, and then like 6, 7, 8. So it's a lot easier to do than picturing numbers in a pile and trying to count on your fingers and stuff. And so this book kind of goes, I think it's six weeks. This one is 6 weeks long. And on day 1 of each week, you teach the lesson, they learn it. And then days 2 through 5, they do a practice sheet. And once they have the 10 frame down, they kind of zip through this really quickly. So then you do a practice sheet and then a game. And the week 1 game that you do, you flip a quarter, and like heads is 1 and tails is 2. So if they get a 2 at tails and they already have this, they'll have to go like 1 plus 2 equals 3. So, you know, learning to do the math that way. Week 2, the game is goldfish, and with pairs of 10. So he'll be like, Mom, do you have a 7? And then here you go, and then he'll take his 3, and that's a pair of 10. So we like it. It's more fun, and it feels like it goes by a lot faster anytime they can incorporate a game into the learning. And we use our counting bears or our number blocks with the 10 frame as well. Our main math program that we do is our Singapore Dimensions Math. My first grader is also doing this, the first grade book. So they do offer like homeschool instructor manuals or teacher manuals, but for some reason kindergarten only offers the teacher, doesn't offer the homeschool instructor. So that's fine, but it's just a little bit more like they include a lot of like group activities, whole group activities, and small group activities. So we just kind of either skip it or modify it to what we're doing. For first grade, I do have the homeschool instructor manual, and that is a little bit easier to follow just because it's, you know, you're teaching one kid, not a whole group. But I mean, the kindergarten stuff is easy enough. So yeah, it has every chapter opener, and then this is lesson 1, and then it has the group activity, what we're doing in the workbook, extra help. So we use the instructor guide to teach, and it's not exactly open and go, but it's a pretty happy medium in that you don't need a whole bunch of things for it. So it's easy enough that you can open it and gather supplies as you're teaching it. You don't have to read it the night before and prep for it. So with that, we teach with the textbook. And so we're teaching and we're doing some little games, and we're using the textbook, and each lesson is only like a page or 2 long. Yeah, this front and the back, and then this is another one, like front and back. But it goes pretty slow, and we already have a lot of this down, and we're still following the book just to kind of cement everything and, you know, not jump ahead too far. But this is the textbook that we learn off of, and then for extra help, they have the workbook. So if it's something we need a little bit of extra help with, we can do some extra pages in here, like things that go together, the chicken and the egg, the needle and the thread. So we like it. It's colorful too. Anything colorful keeps our attention. And then I didn't bring it up here, I forgot, but it does also have a test booklet that looks very similar to these. Kind of optional, but I was like, why not just get the whole set? I got it. We do use it at the end of a whole like unit. It'll have, you know, each chapter test, and we'll skip over little parts that I know they have down. Like circle a group of 5, I know he has that. So he can skip over that and then just do the things that we're a little bit still working on, just to make sure we're completely ready to move on to the next chapter. And then I believe, lastly, we have our reading program that we use, which I talk about in pretty much every video, just because I really, really do love it. Our Logic of English Foundations A. And we are almost at the end of this. We're going to be starting B, which I just bought and I haven't even really opened up yet. We have all of our like readers and our textbooks and workbooks and everything ready to go. So we'll be starting that very soon. But yeah, we're still finishing this up, and you do definitely need the instructor manual for this. And it comes with all your letter cards. So a lot of days you'll start with introducing a letter. What does it say? Like, let me see, what letter? Okay, so for example, letter A, and they can feel it, it's textured, it has like a sandpapery texture on the A, and on the back, it's A, A. And if you don't know how to read the phonogram, it has like examples with the word mat, table, father, A, A. And then we'll read the page in our Doodling Dragons book, right here. And it'll again have the A, A, and examples of how it's used in those different sounds. So we like it, it's cute, it rhymes, makes it a little bit more fun. Kind of an example of a lesson, lesson 31, we're doing the letter B. So we're in our workbook, and it's the workbook page that they're following along with, and they're circling there's a bunch of pictures, and circle all the ones that start with W. So we're doing that, we're blending consonants. What does N say? What does D say? What does it say together? And we are looking at our Doodling Dragons book for that letter. We do skip the handwriting, but you have the option of cursive or regular. We don't love it. We're already doing plenty of handwriting, so we just skip the handwriting for this. And then it looks like we set up stations with markers and erasers. We say the sound, and then they write the letter. And then we do spelling. And this day was big, sand, ran, bad, and bend. And then reading basketball. So we're cutting out words in our workbook, and then they pick it up, read it, and then they throw it in a basket. So it does blend a lot of like workbook with games. A lot of times they'll have us like kind of scatter these on the floor, and then I'll say, okay, get A, A, and they'll run and get the letter A and give it to me. Say, get O, A, U, and they'll run and get the letter O and bring it to me. So it's a way to get up and go. And a lot of times they'll break it down like D, A, N, S, and they'll say dance, and then they'll get up and dance. And I'll say sit, and then they'll sit down. And I like that it breaks it up like that so they can see the sounds put together and make a word. And this has really, really helped us with reading, especially my 4-year-old's reading these books too. They just came out with these. Before this, all the readers were in the back of the book and they cut and paste them themselves, which they love doing. But they just came out with readers that go along with this too. And so we like this: 10 pops, red spots on rug, dump red pops. And they're reading these perfectly along with when it's recommended in the book. And these are just, this is just book 4, and I think it has 9. And so, at the beginning it's, they know their letters and the sounds a little bit. And now towards the end of this book, we're reading cat jumps, gum gets on drum, grand band bops and pops. I mean, that's pretty impressive, especially for my younger one to be able to follow along with this. This is their workbook for this. And let's see, what were we doing here? We're matching different fonts so that we can see sometimes a G looks like this and sometimes it looks like this. So different fonts, you know, aren't as confusing. We have phonogram bingo. I'll say kasa and they're like, okay, that's the C. You know, and they get to yell bingo. That's fun. Circle the beginning sound. Let's see, we skipped the handwriting. Phonogram is the beginning of words. Sounds at the end of words. So that's still kind of in the beginning of the book. What are we doing later on? We're cutting these words out, putting them face down, and we're either doing like charades with it or reading them and throwing them and trying to make a basket. And then the readers are at the back, and they love doing the readers. My older son asks me if we have more readers to do. I was like, oh, I'll try to find something online. But you rip these out, they read the pages, and then they find the picture and cut it and glue it. So it's fun. It's like a little art project. But this has worked really well for us. We've tried other programs. We've tried The Good and the Beautiful. And as far as math, we've tried Math with Confidence, Math UC. We've tried The Good and Beautiful Math. But it feels like for us, these are the two that we really, really love. These are the two that we do every single day, and the rest, you know, we try to get to everything, but if we don't, that's fine. We'll do it the next day. And then our extra stuff, I'll probably do a video on just our extras, like the social studies, coding, geography, like how we break that up. But this is kind of our daily stuff, and it kind of sounds like a lot to me anyway, but it really only takes us, I mean, less than an hour a day, and then we have the whole rest of the day to play, swim in the lake, go to Grandma and Grandpa's house and everything, and, you know, see friends and stuff. So yeah, it works really well, and this is what we do.